According to Jill Duggar and her husband, Derek Dillard, who are both stars on the television show Tennessee, their town was ravaged by tornadoes. During the weekend of Memorial Day, a tornado that was fatal struck areas of the states of Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Jill, who is 32 years old, and Derek, who is 35 years old, published a joint statement on Instagram describing how the twisters ripped through our area. In the story, as the force pounded homes and knocked down power lines, the couple remained up for the most of the night. The statement that they released stated, "Thank goodness we are fine, but some of our friends and family members were not as fortunate. We are praying for those affected. Tornadoes missed us by a few miles," they came to the conclusion. Additionally, the story had emojis depicting a tornado as well as 2 red exclamation marks. The utter destruction. A tornado struck an area in Cook County, Texas that was close to a mobile home park on Saturday night, causing great damage to the region. In the United States, the Associated Press reports that there have been at least 18 deaths recorded around the country. Ray Sappington, the sheriff of Cook County, has verified that 2 children, one of whom was 2 years old and the other of whom was 5 years old, were among those who passed away. The violent storms also caused around 20 people in the vicinity to sustain injuries. "We do have 5 confirmed dead, but unfortunately we think that number is probably going to go up," the sheriff said to the representatives of the news organization. "This home is completely demolished at this point. Just a path of rubble has been left behind. There is a significant amount of destruction." It was stated by the publication that officials in Oklahoma and Arkansas have verified a total of 4 deaths, with 2 deaths occurring in each state. According to PowerOutage.us, there are still hundreds of thousands of residents who do not have access to electricity. By the afternoon of Sunday, it was estimated that more than 164,000 people in Kentucky were without power, more than 102,000 people in Arkansas, and more than 55,000 people in Texas. Photos taken of the destruction caused by the storms show electricity lines that have been damaged, automobiles that have been destroyed, and buildings that have been torn apart. Just a few weeks after the couple had attended a funeral for their daughter Isla, who had passed away in stillbirth, the tornado caused damage to their property. Late in the month of April, Jill and Derek posted photographs that were quite upsetting, showing them at the burial service when they lay their daughter to rest. Additionally, in order to honor their youngest kid, they arranged a table with items such as baby clothing, cards, books, toys, and blankets. "This is our little child, Isla Marie." A letter was written by Jill that stated, "We will love you forever and hold you in our hearts until we hold you in heaven." Accounting of the ungraduates are also the parents of 3 sons, Israel, who is 9 years old, Samuel, who is 6 years old, and Frederick, who is 21 months old. Brief introduction to Jill Duggar and her husband, Derek Dillard, including their lives post Counting On. Overview of the recent tornado that ripped through their town. Mention of the couple expressing gratitude for their safety, while also mourning the losses of other family members and neighbors who were not as fortunate. Tornado warnings and preparations. Describe how Jill and Derek first learned about the incoming tornadoes, local news, weather alerts, etc. A look at their emotional state. Were they calm or panicked? How they prepared their home for the storm. Mention if they followed any specific advice or disaster protocols. Discuss if they had any warning systems in place or if the tornado came as a surprise to them. The tornado strikes. A vivid retelling of the moments when the tornado hit. Describe the sounds, the fear, and the chaos around them. Explain if Jill and Derek had to take shelter in their home. Where did they hide? How did they protect their children? Include any social media posts or public statements Jill or Derek made during or after the tornado. Aftermath and realization of family devastation. Share how Jill and Derek emerged from their home to find their property relatively undamaged. The emotional contrast. The relief of finding their home intact versus the devastating news that other family members or friends had suffered major losses. Mention specific loved ones or members of the Duggar family who were affected, whether it be structural damage, loss of property, or emotional trauma. Connecting with other victims in the community. How Jill and Derek reached out to help those who were not as fortunate. Did they offer food, shelter, or emotional support? Include stories of their community coming together after the disaster. Were there any relief efforts they took part in? Did they assist their family members in rebuilding homes? If available, quote any social media posts Jill or Derek made about supporting others during this difficult time. Reflection on faith and gratitude. Jill and Derek's background of strong Christian faith and how it helped them process the disaster. How they expressed their gratitude for their safety while being empathetic toward those who lost much more. Explore the role of prayer, their church community, and spiritual reflection in recovering from the experience. Discuss any Bible verses or messages of hope they might have shared with their followers. The broader impact on the Duggar family. Was this tornado experience a significant event in the Duggar family? Were other members involved in the relief efforts? If other Duggar family members suffered major damages or traumas, include those stories. How the family is working together to support each other and rebuild. Mention if Jim Bob or Michelle Duggar made any statements or provided assistance. Moving forward, what's next for Jill and Derek? How are Jill and Derek recovering emotionally and physically from the storm? Did they have to make any home repairs, or did they relocate temporarily? If they have publicly discussed any future disaster preparedness plans, share those insights. Discuss their broader goals for the future, especially in light of such a traumatic experience. How do they plan to use this event to inspire and uplift others? Summarize their journey from initial shock and fear to recovery and resilience. Leave readers with a hopeful message, touching on the importance of community support, faith, and the strength Jill and Derek have demonstrated. Encourage further reading, donations, or action to help those still recovering from tornado disasters.